In seconds, the swarm burst out like a dark cloud, surrounding the wolf. The insect stung viciously, and the helpless animal howled in pain, thrashing about to escape. But the bees were relentless, latching onto its fur and skin. The wolf's strength began to weaken as its eyes grew heavy and its breathing became labored. Fortunately, a forest guard patrolling nearby heard the wolf's cries. Realizing the danger, he immediately contacted the animal rescue team. Within minutes, a group of trained rescuers rushed to the site, carrying protective suits, smoke canisters, and medical kits. The rescuers carefully lit smoke near the hive to drive the bees away, creating a safe path to reach the wolf. 2 members of the team bravely held the weakened animal, while others worked to remove the bees clinging to its body. The wolf was then rushed to a temporary field clinic set up in the forest. Veterinarians treated its wounds, applied ointments to ease the stings, and gave it fluids to restore its energy. Slowly, the wolf's breathing stabilized, and the fire in its eyes returned. After a few days of care, it regained its strength and was ready to be released back into its natural habitat. When the rescuers finally opened the cage to set it free, the wolf stood tall, gazed at the humans for a brief moment, and then dashed into the forest, disappearing into the shadows. The team celebrated their success. Not only had they saved a creature from certain death, but they had also proven that compassion and courage could turn even the most dangerous situations into a story of hope. The wolf lay in a quiet recovery enclosure built by the rescue team on the edge of the forest. The air was calm now, free of the angry buzzing that had nearly cost the animal its life. But the marks of the attack were still visible. Its fur was matted, its skin red with swollen stings, and its movements weak and uncertain. The veterinarians worked carefully, checking its pulse and temperature, while the rescuers stood watch, making sure no more bees returned. The wolf, though in pain, did not resist much. It was as if it understood that these humans had not come to harm it but to save it. For the first 2 days, the wolf hardly moved. It lay curled in a corner, its eyes half closed, body trembling from the venom and exhaustion. The team placed bowls of water and food near it, though the animal showed little interest at first. One of the veterinarians whispered softly, "It needs time. Strength will come back slowly." By the 3rd day, the wolf finally raised its head and drank. Its ears twitched at the sound of birds outside, a small sign that life was returning. The rescuers smiled with relief. Every tiny improvement felt like a victory. They named the wolf Shadow, for its dark coat and mysterious presence in the forest. Over the next week, Shadow's condition improved. The swelling began to fade, and patches of fur grew softer where the wounds had healed. One rescuer often sat near the enclosure, reading aloud in a calm voice, so the wolf would not feel alone. Another would carefully place meat near the bars, encouraging Shadow to eat more each day. The bond between the animal and its saviors grew stronger. Though still cautious, Shadow began to trust the humans. When they approached with medicine, it no longer backed away. Instead, it watched them with sharp, intelligent eyes, as if memorizing their faces. But the rescue team knew they could not keep Shadow forever. Wolves belong to the wild, not cages. The plan was clear. Once fully recovered, Shadow would be released back into its natural territory, far from the dangerous beehive that had almost ended its life. The day of release came sooner than expected. After 2 weeks, Shadow's strength returned in full. It paced the enclosure restlessly, muscles rippling beneath its coat, eyes glowing with the untamed fire of the forest. The rescuers understood the message. Shadow was ready. They transported the wolf deep into the forest, away from villages and the poisonous hive. The cage door creaked open, and for a moment, Shadow hesitated. It looked back at the humans, its golden eyes holding a silent message: gratitude, trust, perhaps even recognition. Then, with a powerful leap, it bounded into the undergrowth, its figure disappearing like smoke into the trees. The forest returned to silence, but the rescuers stood still, watching the path where the wolf had vanished. They knew their mission was complete, yet their hearts felt heavy. Saving a life was never just a job, it was a